Hey, Roger Martin, for Billy Montana, good day. This is Dr. Janda, and as President Trump versus the state now, I get information here I don't get anywhere else, no matter where I look. So I like Dr. Janda's inside information in these areas. Here's what he says about this phone call and Trump and some of these closed-door sessions by the Democrats.
Who filed the complaint on August 12th over President Trump's July 25th phone call with Ukraine President Zelensky. In that phone call, President Trump, as you know, circumvented this entire goat rodeo of an impeachment process by releasing the transcript. And remember, this past week, Adam Schiff, one of his star witnesses, was going to be an individual from the National Security Council by the name of Tim Morrison, who was on the call. He wasn't second or third hand. He was on.
So now what does he say about Tim Morrison, one of his star witnesses? They think Tim Morrison's going to blow the lid off this. What do they find out? Just the opposite.
On the call. And he testified this past week, and Schiff had it set up that, well, he's going to talk about how President Trump abused the situation and he was wrong. Morrison got in front of the closed-door committee in the basement of the Capitol building, and what did he say? There was nothing wrong with the phone call. There was nothing illegal in the phone call. There were no alarm bells in that phone call. Everything was above board and done appropriately. Took a lot of wind out of Schiff's sails, but you'd never know that through the bought-off mainstream fake media.
Again, our bought-off mainstream media. And he keeps saying bought-off mainstream media. Really, I believe it is bought-off.
But this Charmella, who wasn't on the call, who was just getting gossip.
Now here's the thing, Charmella is not on the phone call. He's just getting gossip. And they're focusing on his crowd. But he wasn't even on the call.
Is the one who came forward. History of being a top Democrat operative. Worked for Brennon, deep state dweeb.
All right, so this is Charmella's background. Deep state operative, Democratic deep state operative. Worked for Brennan, a CIA individual. Paid to lie.
Who's been acting awfully crazy of late, maybe more than of late. He's been off the rails for decades. He worked for Brennan at the CIA. Charmella had a tie to a 2020 candidate, and that 2020 candidate being Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Charmella coordinated and took guidance from Adam Schiff's staff. And Schiff, who's supposedly conducting this goat rodeo of a hearing, lied about it. Do you think that the wrong person is being discussed about impeachment? Why isn't impeachment of Schiff being discussed?
That's the question. Why don't they impeach Schiff? Again, in my opinion, the Republicans are almost finalists. Almost. They should hold an immediate impeachment hearing on Schiff and get him out of it. And Nancy Pelosi, in my opinion. And Cortez. I can listen to some other people too. Walters. Man, go on. There's probably a dozen people that should be impeached because of their treasonous attitude towards this country and their abuse of power. And that's just the Democratic side. What about the Republican side?
Gossip blower. Charmella, history, had been previously kicked out of the White House under the Trump administration for leaking negative stories about Donald Trump as far back as 2017. Charmella reportedly was behind the story, the fake story that Putin told Trump to fire Comey, and that's why Trump fired Comey. That was a fake story Charmella provided to the bought-off lamestream fake media in 2017, which, as I understand it, was the reason why he was ushered out of the White House 2 years ago. Charmella's attorneys who are representing him worked for Clapper, Hillary Clinton, Chuck Schumer, and, by the way, those same attorneys donated to, Joe Biden. Then during the Obama administration. Charmella, in fact, traveled with Joe Biden to the Ukraine, as I understand it, on at least 2 of the 6 trips that Biden went to Ukraine. Charmella worked with DNC operative Alexandra Chalupa in the creation of the Trump-Russian collusion hoax. Same players, Brennon, Charmella, Chalupa, same ones that were involved in this Ukraine hoax are the same ones that were involved in the fake Russian collusion hoax. And remember, it goes all the way back to the illegal surveillance that Brennan and Clapper were involved with Obama through their parallel platforms, one of which was this Hammer platform that was used to illegally surveil government officials and American citizens in order to gain leverage information as it relates to emails, phone calls, internet activities, and financial transactions. They're all the same players all the way through. All, I believe, involved in sedition of a duly elected president of the United States. So this Ukraine hoax has been fabricated by the deep state as a shakedown operation of the Constitution, essentially.
I'm going to end it here. But obviously, the Charmella is a dirty player for the Democrats and the deep state. And Clapper and Brennan and Biden, what a mess. I'm going to edit here, go from there, and do a full link on this. Listen to this guy. He's got a lot of good material you won't get anywhere else. Good day. Roger Martin, Montana. Work on supporting the good guys in the white hats, or lose what little freedoms we have left.